think it forces companies to think about what does matter. And from a time perspective, how employees are spending their time and how leaders are spending their time, and rethinking how you sort of engage with your clients and your employees. So I do think that inclusion matters now as much, if not more than ever. I think that the current situation creates opportunities for companies to rethink how they're connecting with their employees and supporting their employees. The humanity that is now on display, and to the point of leaders who embrace that, I think are showing a much more interesting side to themselves and are connecting with people, right? I've done so many interviews with CEOs and their kids are doing homework in the background and their dog barks, right? And if you think about just 2 months ago, they would have never permitted that, right? They would have made sure their kids were gone, but they can't now. They would have made sure that the background was perfect because they would have been in their office and it would have been climate controlled and perfectly quiet. And so the idea that all of the veneer has been stripped away because of this and we're just humans, I think has been a really interesting opportunity for people to see what a leader really looks like in a very different context, right? You see the CEO of HSBC doing a webcast from his home. You would have never seen his home prior to this. And that's a really interesting sort of human piece. I'd love to get rid of the terms diversity and inclusion because they're so loaded, right? They're generally negative. They're generally compliance driven. They're not opportunity focused always. And people have if I say diversity, every single human that hears that has any corporate engagement has a viewpoint that engenders some kind of thought. And it's generally not massively positive. For a straight white male, it could mean everybody but me. For a woman, it could mean, oh, you're only hiring me because of my gender, not because of my skills. So really focusing more on leadership and inclusive leadership and belonging. And those concepts, I think, are what companies who have been at the forefront have really been doing, and shifting away from counting belly buttons. How many women do I have? How many Black people do I have? How many gay people do I have? To how do I have the best, brightest workforce that can solve problems, innovate, and deliver for clients? And if I have that, of course, it's going to be a mix of all of those things. But that mix is the output, not the starting point. And so I think companies that have thought about it in that way have already seen results, and I think will weather the storm significantly better than those who have not. All of those terms and that framing is really just what diversity and inclusion is meant to create. It's meant to create that sense of belonging for everyone so that you feel a part of something. I would say leadership and belonging, right? Because everybody wants to be a leader. And there's no negative, pejorative nature to that. There's no, it's a positive connotation and belonging, ultimately. There are different folks who say that there's diversity, then there's inclusion, then there's belonging, right? And inclusion, the idea of diversity is that it's, if you're at a school dance, diversity of the people at the dance, right? And inclusion is being in the room at the dance, but belonging is getting asked to dance.